Well, just a little bit about me. I'm Heath Hooper. I am 38 years old. I am the worship director here at Heirloom Church, so I'm responsible for scheduling, getting all the worship team together, making sure that's all corralled and done. I raised two little girls who are 12 and 9, Haley and Cameron, and then I also work for a hotel. I do bartending and events for a hotel. So growing up for me, I was actually a pastor's son. So church was something that we did essentially 7 days a week. So as I got older, I started out very strong going into college with my faith, and I unfortunately started to drift away with that faith. I had some church politics things that happened that I wasn't too happy about. I served in a youth worship thing on campus, and that kind of didn't go very well. My best friend died in a car accident, and I got to a point where it's just like, if God is doing these things to me, like, why should I continue to keep following? So I chose to drift off for a number of years and just do things my own way, rely on my own belief system, rely on, essentially myself, and that I could do it all myself. So there was a moment, I'd say that I drifted for a good 10 years, a full decade, and there was a moment where I realized that something was absolutely missing in my life. I'd gone through quite a lot of traumatic events. I had split from the girl's mother. That was very traumatic. I'd gone through my second Achilles tendon tear. That's a year of your life you do not get back. And then I was also bitten by a brown recluse spider twice. So the recovery from all that and just thinking to myself, like, why, God, why? And I realized that it's like I didn't have the option to say why God when I didn't even know him anymore. And so finally I realized the thing that was missing in my life was God. And because of that, I finally got down on my knees and begged for mercy and begged for help. And as soon as I did, I realized that the muck and the darkness that I was stuck in, started to lift. And as it started to lift, my life started to get better and things started to improve in my life. And I realized that that was the reason. So as things started to improve in my life, I started praying for a church home, somewhere that I could raise my kids, and have them in the best, most loving and Christian environment. And funny enough, there ended up being this issue with the crosswalk at school. They used to have a diagonal crosswalk at Negley, and then they moved it to where you had to cross one street, then cross the next street instead of just going in one straight line. And I remember Cameron, my youngest daughter, asking me like, Dad, why did they do that? And I responded to her with, sometimes the city makes good decisions and other times the city makes bad decisions, and sometimes they make decisions that we just don't understand. And it happened to be that District 2 City Council, Bear Heiser, was right behind me, and he introduced himself and he said, hey, I'm Bear Heiser. If you want to go get coffee sometime and talk about the crosswalk, I'm happy to. So I obliged and said that, let's go get coffee and talk about it. And so we did. I was meeting with him from 9 to 10. We finished. It was great meeting. And then after he met, actually Dakota was meeting with him from 10 until 11. And so as Dakota walked in, he kind of shook my hand, introduced himself. Hey, I'm Dakota Adair. I was like, hey, I'm Heath Hooper. And he immediately asked me, he's like, hey, are you a Christian? I said, yeah. Are you a Christian? He goes, yeah. And he goes, well, hey, I'm starting a church. And I said, well, I'm looking for a church. And so I've been going to Heirloom ever since for over 2 years now. So moving through the last 2 years, some of the unique experiences that I've had at Heirloom has been the grace of the community. I've been able to connect with the community. It hasn't been like some churches where you show up and nobody knows your name, nobody talks to you, everybody has their little friend group and then nobody speaks to anyone. Everyone generally knows everyone's name. Everyone is talking to everyone. If you step foot in Heirloom, you're gonna be bombarded by a bunch of people who wanna speak to you and know your story. So if hearing my story and if any way that this happens to resonate with you, there are a few things that I could say to you is that having that brokenness and that sense of being, at rock bottom for yourself, that all you have to do is just get on your knees and ask for it. Ask for the help. If you ask, it shall receive. Seek and you shall find. And you just have to be open to doing that. I was, and it's completely transformed my life. And if you were stuck in that murkiness, that darkness, that there is a way out. You don't have to feel like you're alone. I know at times that it does, but all you have to do is just decide that you want to ask for it. All you have to do is seek and you will find what it is that you were looking for. So as Easter approaches, I'm extremely thankful that Jesus has completely transformed my life from the person that I was to the person that I am now, and the father that I'm going to be, the person that I'm going to be, the things that I get to do for the church. You know, I don't have to do them, I get to do them. And I'm just completely thankful that Jesus has blessed my life in so many different ways. I mean, so many that I can barely even count. And I know that we all have those bad days where, you know, it's hard to see the good, but really at the end of the day, he's done nothing but bless me since I've given my life to him. And as Easter approaches, I'm just constantly reminded of that.